In this video, we will talk about product and technical aspects of verifying if the project you want to invest in is legit. If you want only technical stuff, skip to technical stuff in timestamps. Anyway, enjoy. First of all, check project website. Does it have any legit FAQ, blog, or maybe cooperations with another companies or even guides who'll expose tutorials of their product? So overall, first thing of all, check product website. The second thing, check what this project does, his whitepaper and his yellowpaper. For example, we choose Uniswap. You can identify technology they are using, Google search it, read it and compare with other technologies and their popularities. The must-have is that they also need to use those specific options your project is using. But overall, Uniswap has large circulating supply. It helps to stabilize the price of the token over time. Uni has a strong use case as the governance token of the Uniswap platform. Holders of Uni have voting rights, allowing them to participate in decision-making processes related to the future development of the platform. And the last thing, liquidity mining incentives. Uniswap has a liquidity mining program that rewards users for providing liquidity to the platform. This incentivizes users to hold onto Uni tokens and helps to maintain a stable supply of the token on the market. Third thing, check tokenomics, one of the most important whitepaper parts. It could be a pyramid or an unstable project where they give, for example, 20 rewards for stakers while earning only 10% themselves. If you can't find tokenomics in whitepaper, check Coingecko. Let's take, for example, Uniswap token distribution. So, initially, a total of 1 billion Uni tokens were minted. The distribution of these tokens was designed as follows: 60% to the community, about 600 million Uni, 21.51% to team members and future employees, it's about 200 million Uni, 17.8% to investors, it's 778 million Uni, and 0.69% to advisors, 6.9 million Uni. About inflation, the Uni token has an inflationary supply. After the initial 4-year vesting period, an annual inflation rate of 2% will be applied. This inflation is intended to incentivize continued participation and security in the Uniswap governance system. About the liquidity mining, Uni tokens were distributed to the users through liquidity mining programs. These programs incentivize users to provide liquidity to certain pools on Uniswap in exchange for earning Uni tokens. About governance, Uni token holders can participate in the governance of the Uniswap protocol. They can vote on proposals related to protocol updates, new features, and other decisions that affect the platform. Uni token holders can also delegate their voting power to the other addresses. About fee switch, in the future, a fee switch mechanism may be introduced allowing Uni token holders to decide on the allocation of a portion of the protocol's trading fees. This could provide another potential revenue stream for Uni token holders depending on the outcome of governance votes. Check ticker on Coingecko, price history, check for warnings from Coingecko. It's worth noting that like any cryptocurrency, the price of Uni can be volatile and subject to fluctuations. However, Coingecko also provides warnings about potential risks associated with investing in Uni. For example, it warns that the liquidity of tokens may be affected by changes in platform or market conditions, which could lead to price volatility. Check social media, amount of followers, comments. Be aware of zero followers media, or for example, when someone has a lot of followers, but for the post, for example, it has like 10, 15 likes, it's not so much and it might be a scam. For the other stuff, the social medias can show you how the communities look, how popular the project is, what most people say about the project, what is the message of the project, and do you like personally this project. And the last, one of the most important thing, check portfolio, history of project creators, advisors, and so on involved in this project. It's really worth checking project creators' portfolio, their past, their socials, and so on. You can sort easily scammers with it from legit ones, check their comments, check their projects, check their posts and feedback from others, especially on LinkedIn, if it comes to business stuff.
And now it's time for the technical part, but if you are not super technical, don't worry, we have a solution for this. Here the single most important technical thing to check even if you can't code and you know nothing about technology, is to check whether the project is audited. Audits are crucial for identifying technical issues in projects, particularly in smart contracts, where potential exploits must be discovered and addressed. After an audit, developers should resolve major and critical issues and consider re-auditing the project, also making fixes for the smart contracts. When checking the audits, also make sure to check the auditing company. Check whether it's one of the major ones, or maybe it's a minor one that doesn't specialize in auditing. In this case, the audit wouldn't help much. Remember that companies can have multiple audits, so it's always better if they have a few. And also that audits don't guarantee that the contract is safe. Multiple projects were audited, but then exploited anyway. But in my opinion, a project with an audit is infinitely better than a project without any. The next step in assessing the safety of smart contract is checking the GitHub repository. Here we'll examine the code, README, issues, and overall organization of the repository to determine if it's well maintained or neglected. If you lack technical expertise, ChatGPT is your friend, and you can always ask him about the code and ask him to make a quick audit of the public GitHub repository. If you can code, or better yet, know a thing about Solidity, you can check the contracts and look, for example, for long functions and look for strange comments, whether the code looks clean or is it a mess, and also look for very simple contracts, like for example ERC20, ERC721, and make sure that's a standard used, for example, from OpenZeppelin contracts or consensus best practices, and not some strange custom codes with many potential exploits. An example of a potential exploit is the absence of oracles, which are necessary for accessing external data, like token prices, random numbers, any real-world data. Usually smart contracts can't access it by themselves, so they have to use oracles. But the developers don't have to create a new oracle. Most companies benefit from using reliable oracles, already existing ones, like Chainlink, instead of building their own. Creating a secure and stable oracle is a big project by itself, so it's better to use an already existing one. But there are exceptions to this. Some large projects can afford creating their own oracles. But it's all production code, and what about tests? Let's look for a test package in the repository. Tests are essential to ensure that contract works as expected in most scenarios. Of course, you can't cover all of the scenarios in your test, but it's always better than only caring about the happy path. And making those tests lets you check some strange interactions with the smart contracts. For example, when a user sends strange data, different inputs, or calls functions in a unusual order. Those tests make sure that in those scenarios, the contract works properly, doesn't panic, and doesn't start losing money. Aside from this, if you are just curious how the smart contract really works, tests are usually a great way of checking that. They work as a great documentation for the project. If you can't find any test packages, it's not really promising, and it's usually a big flaw. But anyways, a small reminder, if you are not very technical, just ask ChatGPT for a small audit. He will for sure mention problems with missing tests and maybe wrong usage of oracles. Finally, something you don't need no technical skills for, which is examining the commit history to verify contributors, their repositories, who they are, quality of their commits. Well, for this one, you just open a commit and see how many changes are there, see if it's clean, and check related pull requests. Does a pull request have any description, any reviews, any comments? It's always a great sign. But don't be too harsh on small projects and don't expect them to have big pull requests with 10 reviewers and multiple comments. Reviewing the technical aspects might seem daunting, but it can help you under 10 minutes to avoid investing in fraudulent or just buggy projects, ultimately saving time and your money. So make sure to check those things before investing time or money into a project. Of course, it's not 100% guarantee that the project will be legit and you will not lose money, but using this way, you can filter out like 90% of fraudulent projects or just projects with messy code base, repositories without any readmes, or projects with empty social medias. If you like this video, Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and we'll for sure create other videos just like this one to save your time and money.